Hi, everyone. Nunzio here again. I can't believe the conference is done. 2 days of just amazing, valuable content from all the speakers. But I'd like to just go over a quick run through of the key takeaways that I learned today through each session. So first, the day started off with Deb talking about the change of business owner financing with the SBA loan. Two key takeaways I got from that session was first, searching for SMB lending is like swimming through a sea of different lenders, and it may be really difficult to navigate and understand what great structures are out there, and also just the eligibility of a buyer, right? It really consists around these 5 C's of credit, personal credit history, character, capacity, capital, collateral, and conditions. Then we heard from Eric, who chatted about just legal considerations when structuring your business acquisition. And other than watching him throw down a chicken burger, he definitely had a ton of key takeaways. But here are a couple that really stuck with me. First was you should aim to just buy the assets of the business, and the reason is if you buy the shares, you take on a lot of historical risk and liabilities. Also, he mentioned that the only meaningful way to have a screw to the seller is to have a promissory note. It's a way to get help from the seller if needed, because that promissory note is an incentive for the seller to really help so they get fully paid. And last, he said something really simple, which makes a ton of sense. Buy a good business from a good person. Then we heard from Roxanne, who chatted about M&A negotiations. And she mentioned that a lot of valuable things as well. She mentioned that you're not the only person at the table, right? If you just want to have an oversized win over the other person, you're not a good person. It needs to be reasonable. It needs to be mutual, and it's not a boxing match, right? So be respectful. That's a human being on the other side of the table. She also mentioned that you need to understand what your best alternative to a negotiated agreement is, right? When do you walk away from a deal? What are the deal breakers? And what are your non-negotiables? Then we heard from Patrick talking about the accounting considerations for small business acquisitions. And this was a collaborative approach. He also brought in a guest speaker to chat about the Canadian side. But here are a few key takeaways that really stuck with me. The first is accounting isn't sexy, but it impacts every aspect of your acquisition, which is very true. He also mentioned, don't use the seller's accountant for variety of obvious reasons. He also mentioned, don't try to do your own accounting. And then he really talked about how buyers usually want to buy assets and sellers usually want to buy shares. And I asked actually who usually wins those battles, and he mentioned the seller usually wins, but there may be adjustments on the price due to tax impacts. Then we heard from Scott talk about how to sell to a strategic partner. This session was filled with so much data. It was great. But a couple takeaways for me was one, he mentioned that as the deal sizes get larger, sellers tend to have more control over the deal. And the reason behind that is because these deals are deemed less risky and scarcer. Then he also mentioned that you really want to understand what stage your company is at. So from being unsellable to sellable to an accredited investor, all the way to being sellable to a strategic investor. And he laid out this really nice roadmap on how to navigate from one stage to the next stage as a seller. And that roadmap is perfect for a buyer also to glance over too. And then we ended it off with Ted, who chatted about how to prepare to search and find worthwhile opportunities. And he said a couple things as well. He first said that searchers and buyers unless they're stupid, won't sit on the sidelines. Savvy buyers always have two pending deals. And then he also mentioned you need to learn to avoid buyer competition if you want to buy the right business the right way. So today was another day full of value. I personally had a blast, but I just want to take this opportunity on behalf of everyone here to say thank you. I'd like to thank our incredible speakers for providing such informative and engaging presentations. You've all you've inspired me, and on behalf of everyone here, I think you've inspired us all to really think differently and push ourselves to be better. I also like to thank our sponsor, Apple Tree Business Services, for their ongoing support and their commitment to making this event possible. And finally, I'd like to thank all our attendees for joining us and making this a truly memorable experience. We hope you enjoyed your time here and have taken away valuable insights that you could apply to your own work. I really appreciate you being part of this amazing journey. Now, before I check out here, I also want to let everyone know that we're going to be sending out an email with a survey link and some other resources. I would appreciate it if you could all complete that. Your feedback matters because we really want to improve this conference as we aim to do this every year. We'll also be picking a random response and sending that individual a $150 Amazon gift card. Also, don't forget to show love to the speakers. Reach out to them, connect with them. Connect with other attendees if possible. We'll keep this conference open for a bit still for the rest of the evening here. And also, if you're looking to buy or sell a business, don't forget to join buyandsellabusiness.com for free. Once again, thank you for everything. I wish you all the best and have a great weekend ahead. Thanks, everyone.